We're speaking now to Katarína Mathernová from the European Commission. A broad question to begin with. A big debate is currently taking place in Brussels on the future of regional policy. Can you tell us a little bit about the direction you'd like to see it heading in the coming months and years?
There is a big debate right now, and I very much hope and I believe that regional policy will continue, because it is, I think, a very relevant development policy for Europe, and that will exist and be useful all over Europe across all 27 member states. There is, however, a big debate about it taking place in the context of a budget review, because obviously, especially in the current crisis and the post-crisis scenario for public budgets, the next discussion about the next financial framework that will be taking place in starting in 2011 will be taking place under big squeeze. And since your regional policy is about, well, over a third of the European budget, it's one of the policies that's under close scrutiny.
Many people consider European regional policy to be one of the EU's success stories. On that basis, do you think it should maintain its current budgetary levels?
Well, I'm delighted to hear that many consider it a European success story. I certainly believe that. I think that what is more relevant than budgetary levels is what the policy invests in, what its focus is. And there certainly is a room for improvement in the way it is being handled. There is certainly room to make it more performance-oriented. And one of the developments that has taken place over the last few months is the strategic linkage between regional policy and the Europe 2020 strategic agenda. And we believe that the regional policy is a very relevant instrument to bring the broad European 2020 strategy into the people and to the citizens and to the regions. I think it's a little premature to talk about the current budgetary levels, just because the next negotiations are going to be very difficult. They're taking place in a big post-crisis scenario, but I certainly think that it is going to be in the same orders of magnitude. Whether a little bit less, a little bit more, that's hard to predict right now.
You mentioned the EU 2020 strategy. Can you give us concrete examples of goals outlined by that strategy that will also become overarching policy goals for regional policy in the coming decade?
Well, I actually can go even a step further and tell you that already our current investment strategies and plans and the money that is being spent is in line with at least two of the goals of Europe 2020. We are heavily investing already in innovation, not so much on the cutting-edge research front, which is more the remit of the 7th framework program, but on the innovation side, dispersion of knowledge, knowledge transfer, broad-based innovation expenditures. That's something that we already invest a lot, which is one of the key 3 pillars. We certainly invest a lot in research infrastructures, also for cutting-edge research. We invest also in the green element of Europe 2020. We invest around 9 billion euros already in this period, is earmarked for renewable energy expenditures. Energy efficiency, we changed our regulation to allow energy efficiency improvements also in the housing sector, which was not really possible before. So I think that this is one of the encouraging things, that when you look at what regional policy invests in, it's already to a great degree aligned with what the future goals are.
Are we likely to see new forms of indicators and targets in the coming years?
Most definitely. I think that you cannot do without indicators and targets if you really mean to be a more performant policy. And I think that this is one of the criticisms that one has been getting, is that sometimes there was a lack of focus, sometimes there was more energy spent on bureaucratic procedures than really looking at the effectiveness of the policy. So I think that we all have an interest to make it much more performance-based, and for that you need indicators and targets.
Finally, how do you think the regions themselves can go about becoming more involved, taking more ownership for for being a part of the bigger picture?
Well, I think that one is to work on developing the capacity and the governance structures, the ability to be part of a dialogue on policy issues. And a number of the regions have that. Number of the regions have representations here in Brussels, are very active. There are very many extremely robust and active regional organizations, associations, networks, and we take our partnership with regions very, very seriously. A lot of our programming, especially in the old member states, is exclusively at regional level. So our main counterparts, our official counterparts, are regional governments and regional bodies and actors. This is an element that is not as developed in the newer member states, but it's increasingly happening so. For example, in Poland, in the Czech Republic, we have regional, in addition to national programs, we have regional programs and are actively in touch with the regional representations and governments.
Katarína Mathernová from the European Commission, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.